18-year-old Pop Warner group here in Phoenix. National champions. Come on out here, guys. They're going to help us go to school on that Seattle offensive line. Our Ross Tucker is going to be part host, part analyst, and part coach here, Ross. Take it away.
Well, one of the things that Seattle does so well is the outside zone blocking scheme, and they're especially good at cutting off the defenders on the backside. So we'll pretend like it's an outside zone going to the left. The key block to be able to win a gap is to cut off the defensive tackle. Let's say I'm Vince Wilfork on the backside. That would be the job of the right tackle right here, Justin Britt. So here we go, fellas. Ready, set, hut. You'll see as he goes that low, if you're Vince Wilfork, you're either getting cut down at that point, or you have to give ground and push away so that you don't get cut. Either way, the offense wins.
Yeah, defensively for the Patriots, what they like to do, one of the things they love to do, remember we're bringing in a couple defensive tackles here, but they like to put a lot of pressure in those A gaps, and they'll do that. Come on, D lineman, let's go, get in here. We'll get out here in these wide techniques. What they want to do is they're going to walk both linebackers up into the A gaps. In doing so, they have big on big over here, big on big over here. So we're now isolating these two backers against the center and the running back. Now, what's going to happen is we used to do this when Michael Vick and those guys came in the league and ran around a lot. Whoever the center blocks will then engage the center and drop back into coverage. The remaining linebacker will go ahead and continue to blitz the quarterback. So we go set hut. The center will come to me. I'm going to stop, engage him for a second. Ross has to beat the back. No back can block a linebacker. It's a sin. Now I'm going to come off the ball and have a chance, whether it's Hightower or Collins, to keep a spy on Russell Wilson, keep him in the pocket. If he's able to extend plays and get outside that pocket, it really makes it difficult on the secondary to cover.
Far West Jets, how they do? How these guys do?
I can see why they're Super Bowl. Huh?
I saw one of you almost get into Ross's knees. You almost looked a little worried there for a second.
Yeah, that's Justin Britt over there.
Yes, he did. All right, Far West Jets, one way the Patriots have gained an advantage, a legal advantage recently, bringing in an extra offensive lineman. We're going to bring in our offensive coordinator and also the national champion Far West Jets to learn a little bit more about how the Patriots or what they do with that extra offensive lineman. So, Coach Gilbride, it's all yours.
There you go, guys. We'll go with jumbo. Line up with the 2x2, just the way we did the first place. When the Patriots are looking to run the ball, they like to go to a two tight end set, or what appears to be a two tight end set. But in reality, they don't have two tight ends that block well enough. So what they do is they substitute one of the tight ends. They put an extra offensive lineman in here. They put Cameron Fleming in here because he's a much better blocker. And then they have Rob Gronkowski to that other side. And it gives them a chance to do some things and gain some advantages. And Ross is going to explain those right now.
Well, yeah, because the problem is, as a defensive end, you're not used to a guy that's 6'7", 325 pounds being outside of you. So when they come to double team you like this, you got a 6'7", 325-pound guy there that you're trying to fend off against that double team. Most defensive ends cannot hold up against that double team because they're not accustomed to a guy being like that outside. Usually that's a tight end. Most of those guys can't block anymore.
Now, what we haven't mentioned is that even though he's an offensive lineman, he is an eligible receiver. So the defense has to be aware of that. And in this particular game, the last game when they played against the Colts, Cameron Fleming was an eligible receiver 25 times before this play happened. And then what happened is they brought Rob Gronkowski over here, and he lined up on the line of scrimmage, which now made Fleming ineligible. He's not eligible. Now, what needs to happen is Nate Solder became an eligible receiver. But these things are happening very quickly, and it requires the defense to make all kinds of adjustments and to really be honed in. And Jason's going to explain the difficulty of it here.
Yeah, it really does. And like you said, Coach, they did this 25 times where Fleming was in the game as an eligible receiver. So you get a little comfortable with that. And never getting pounded when the ball was getting pounded downhill at him. All of a sudden, Gronkowski comes over, covers Fleming up, making him ineligible. Nate Solder now, he does have to declare to the referee that he is an eligible receiver. But amongst all the confusion and all the things going on, defensively, sometimes you don't hear that. So now as a defensive end, I'm thinking, okay, I have a short side. They're overloaded that way. If they drop back to pass at all, I know it's me and Solder one-on-one, and he just completely ran by Solder. He barely blocked him and then just turned around right here and turned around and was wide open. But he had to catch the ball. That was the hardest part. He caught the ball, ran it in the end zone. So defensively, regardless of whether they're declaring eligible or not, it takes time to figure out who is eligible. They put Shane Vereen out in the slot on the line, covering the end guy, making him ineligible. It's a lot of confusion for the defense. You don't want to burn timeouts, but for me, I'd rather burn a timeout than give up a touchdown.
So, Kevin, are these guys ready to coach, or should they